Talk about big names. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez, bail or sale, or is this just first half Julio? Here comes second half Julio.
I am going to go a little against the grain. And I think that as much as I like the idea of second half Julio, I think you may do better if you sell on the idea of second half Julio.
Ooh.
And one of the reasons is because the stolen bases for Julio aren't quite what they were. He's at 12 right now, which is, totally fine. He's pacing for 20. But Julio is a guy you would really like to be pushing 30. And overall, a lot of the things with him are A, dependent on a second half surge, and B, dependent on getting a ton of stolen bases. I am fairly. First of all, I don't know if I totally buy the second half thing. I feel like that's. I know
3 out of
it
4 years.
happened a lot of times, but I don't know if that's necessarily just circumstance or what have you. I'm just trying to real quick make sure. I think Julio Rodriguez is pretty solid, but the stolen bases not really being there scares me a lot. I'm just trying to make sure real quick. Last year in the first half, he had 17 stolen bases. He's pacing well behind that this year, and that's despite better metrics overall. I think that shows that he's going to be more of a 22 stolen base guy. And like I said earlier, those margins really matter. I think you may want to sell on a second half surge that may or may not come.
Yeah, this one's tough for me because I look at if I maintain my process, which is for a player like Julio, I basically know what he's going to do. 3 out of the 4 years that he's been in the league, he's done XYZ. The one exception being the year he was hurt. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at his current service level numbers and his expected numbers, and his expected numbers are right in line with the rest of his career. So I think that second half is gonna happen again, but I think it's a really interesting take where you say sell on the idea of it because maybe you can get a lot for that. And I find that fascinating because to me, I'd always want, okay, I haven't gotten, if in a roto sense, right? I haven't gotten the production that I expected. I want that to catch up. Or in a head-to-head sense, he can carry me for a month, But I think it's fascinating to sell on the idea of him doing that. It's just so interesting to me.
It's the kind of meta games where I'm like, I don't really know. And I may look like a total idiot in 2 months and he's tearing it up going, well, all right. But I'm totally fine with that happening. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think like the stolen bases are something I'm trying to pay attention to, and that'll come up a lot in a second. Of like where is that pacing? Because that's kind of the perceived value going in. Is this is a guy that's a 2020 or 2025, 25, 30 type player. I don't think Julio is going to get that on the stolen bases. And I actually just verified coming back. The stolen bases aren't what increases in the second half. That's a first half thing primarily, or at least it keeps pace. So that's fairly consistent. And if that doesn't change, then you're just focusing on the offense. And I'm not totally sold on that.
That's fair. What's really bothered me about Julio, just to sum up his little piece here, is that there really hasn't been massive leap in improvement ever.
Oh, he's been the same player for 5 years now.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
He's Julio Rodriguez. I've just totally resigned myself to. He will not be any better than he was 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy for a guy that young. Like, I know everyone preaches like, oh, Michael Harris, he's this young, he can improve. PCA can improve, or so-and-so, whatever. You pick any young player. Julio basically came in at his ceiling and has stayed there, which is pretty crazy.